Are you scared?
Also unmuted. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I thought that countdown was a little bit longer, but it's not. How are you? Hello. Hi. And I was muted. Yes. I'm a professional. I can't. Want to give a quick shout out to DC. She's actually the one that made not only the background that you're seeing on your end here. She made that countdown. She made the thumbnail, and I am so grateful because I have had a lot on my plate, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to help me?" And she was like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Thank God." So thank you, DC. I thought it was amazing. What did you guys think of the countdown? I know this is yeah. I have a lot to say today, guys, and I am not really sure where to start other than I'm going to tell you today has been a great day. For those of you that follow me on social media, and yeah, DC to the rescue for sure. So grateful. And I do see some of the donations that are already happening. I will explain everything too loud. I'll make sure I turn it down next time. So thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. Today was a great day. I spoke at a local college, and I will be doing the same for another class on Wednesday about the dangers of multi-level marketing. And by the way, if you're brand new to my channel and this is your first time watching a live stream, watching my content, my name is Erin Bees. I'm a wife, a mom, a military veteran, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by the reps. I was able to say that in person to a class that is working on how to research things, and it was an English class, and I get to do it on Wednesday again, and it was really cool. They asked incredible questions, and after I'm done speaking, I'll definitely give more information. But it's the exact group of people that I don't want to say I want to speak to, but it was incredible. So today has been crazy, as I'm sure some of you have had crazy days. And yeah, but it was really cool. So I'm excited to do that on Wednesday, and then maybe I can get the professor to take a picture with me, and so I can thank her properly on social media. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she's watching now. I don't know. Anyways, if you guys have not already thumbed up the stream, that would be awesome if you would do that. I do want to give a content warning. This is the in memory of Jessie Lee Ward video that Eric put out a couple days after Jessie Lee's passing. And we're going to talk about it. I know some of you have already watched it. I'm not sure if other content creators have covered it. I had to take some time, though. I had to take some time, and I think this is a perfect kind of jump off point to talk about this. Two things can be true at once. And I am sad for the family of Jessie Lee. I'm sad for her friends and the people closest to her. I'm sad for their loss. I'm sad that she passed the way that it sounds like she did. I'm sad that she was in as much pain as she was in. I'm sad that she didn't have palliative care or didn't choose palliative care. I'm sad that she didn't have a social worker advocating for her in late stage cancer. I'm sad about that. And I'm also upset with what she did while she was living. Those two things can exist at the same time. And because I needed to process through how I was feeling, that is why I took some time. And maybe some of you that are watching this are not ready to see this content, and you're not ready to hear about it because of your own experiences in your life, and that's okay. But I took a minute, and I have some things that I do want to say. Um, this video, in my opinion, feels like people trying to financially benefit in some way off of Jessie Lee and her passing. The things that I have seen from people around her, the things that I have seen from specifically Eric and Ed Milet are absolutely vile, vile. And that is what I want to focus on here. Again, it's okay to grieve the loss of a person and not agree with what they did while they were living. It does not have to be a black and white thing. I have spent time with Jessie Lee and I knew her personally, and I stand behind what I said about her manipulation tactics and what she was doing and saying, the misinformation, the fear mongering, all of that is not okay, in my opinion. This is not a bodily autonomy issue. And in my opinion, I'm just going to speak for myself as an anti-MLM creator, because every creator is going to do what they feel is best. And I stand behind every creator that is doing what they feel is best for them and their platform. For me, I needed a minute to process everything. And I'm glad that I took that pause to process how I was feeling. The spreading of the misinformation and, I got sidetracked. The bodily autonomy thing. I 100% agree with bodily autonomy. However, I think that unfortunately, the story of Jessie Lee Ward and her cancer journey are a cautionary tale of sorts. If it were a bodily autonomy issue, meaning she decided early on in her journey that she wanted to forgo chemotherapy, forgo radiation, or whatever her oncologist was suggesting, and she decided she wanted to go the natural route, I really don't think I would have covered her at all in that time period, especially because I don't feel like there would be misinformation to cover. I don't think that there would be weaponized relationships to cover. I'm not reading any of the comments right now, but I will, I promise. I just need to get this out. And again, two things can be true at the same time. You can grieve the loss of somebody and not agree with what they did while they were living. This was not her, in my opinion, saying, hey, I'm going to forego treatment. There were many times that she went back and forth on whether she was going to do chemo or not. If she had chosen the natural route and to forego chemotherapy, I would have wished her the best and gone on my merry way. She did not do that. And I think that as a whole, we have to step back and we have to look at that. And we have to look at the fact that she weaponized a lot of these relationships, paired it with medical misinformation and fear mongering. And she would weave it into the selling of ketones and the selling of her coaching. It's a very complicated thing. Again, it's not black and white. And so that's the hard part of all this. Her content is still up, and I am terrified that somebody is going to listen to her medical advice that she gave, even though at the end she was saying things like, this is not medical advice. Please listen to your doctor, which I'm glad she did. I'm glad she was saying that. So yeah, that's how I feel about all of that. I wish that she didn't have to go. I wish she didn't go through the things that she had to go through with the cancer, with the journey of having cancer. I wish that she had somebody that could advocate for her, like a social worker, especially towards the end of her life. I wish that pain was controlled, and, I wish that she wasn't sharing misinformation. And again, I'm sad for her loss. At the end of the day, she's a human being. I can still disagree with what she did while she was living. Just because she has since passed does not mean that we shouldn't talk about the manipulation tactics to recruit, to sell her coaching program. Those things happened. And unfortunately, they're going to continue to happen. So while we can say, or I can say, I'm sad for the loss, we can also look at the tactics and the manipulation and the things that were done while she was living and understand that those are wrong. It was wrong, So that's what I wanted to say about that. I appreciate you guys so much for listening to that. And I know that there are many of you that wanted me to address it. And I just needed a minute. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So, okay. Today, I'm going to react. Well, first, let me run a disclaimer real quick now that I've said all that. So hang on one second. Okay, now that the disclaimer is out of the way, I know there were a lot of you that wanted me to address that, and I appreciate your patience in allowing me to process things, and I'm grateful for that. So, yeah. The thing that's alarming now is I feel like people around her are now jockeying for who's the top, and it's really odd. I mean, on Ed Milet's tribute video, he didn't even get her birthday right. I mean, yeah, another reaction that I'm gonna give. I'm gonna do the same fundraiser for that video that I'm doing here. Speaking of fundraisers, let's talk about it. Wanna give a shout out to Rebecca and Linda, both members of the channel. Thank you guys so much. Rebecca actually said, as I was on a members only live the other day, I was like, I wanna talk about this stuff, but I don't know how to go about doing it. I don't feel comfortable monetizing it because I don't want to make money off of her death, but I also want to expose the tactics. And so Rebecca was like, do a fundraiser. And then Linda connected me to the Colon Cancer Coalition, which is the fundraiser that's happening right now. And let me speak on that for just a second. And also welcome to everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Okay. So this is how the fundraiser is going to work. Number one, you might see a button that says donate. If you are willing and able to donate, that is awesome. If you're not in a place where you can do that, that's okay too. You being here and watching, or being here watching and interacting, is helping, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to donate the AdSense from this video. So every penny from this video, this monetized video that I'm doing right now, is going to get donated to the Colon Cancer Coalition. I am going to document that. It is going to all be very public. I'm going to track everything, and I'm going to be fully transparent with all of that because it's very, very important to me. Okay. So you'll see screenshots of the analytics. You're going to see that I donated. I'll probably round up the donation, some change and such, because that's the only way that I feel comfortable talking about this. And part of me wishes this is what Jessie Lee would have done. Not this fundraiser necessarily, but the awareness around colon cancer, the awareness that, it's a silent killer, and that there is a spike of people within their 30s that this is impacting. And that sometimes, and I know she did mention some of this in some of her videos, that sometimes there are no symptoms, and that's why screening is important. And not that I want to make this whole thing about Jessie Lee, but if she had said just that instead of all the other stuff, the chemo pimp comments, people making money for all of that, you guys know what I'm talking about. That muddied the message that I think she could have had, and I wish she would have had. So this is how I'm going to do it for this video and for the Ed Milet video that I'm planning on doing, because that's what feels right to me. Other creators are going to do what feels right for them. And again, I just want everybody to know that I support the decisions that other creators make for their channels, whether they speak on it or not. That's their decision. That's their channel. That's their platform. So Thank you guys for all of the donations. And again, you do not have to necessarily click the donate button if you are not willing and able to. I understand. I just wanted to give you guys an easy option that goes directly to the organization. But in addition to that, just from the AdSense from this video, I will be donating 100% of the AdSense to the Colon Cancer Coalition, just to be very clear on how that's working. Okay. I feel like we all need to have a drink of water after that. At least I do. Yeah, it's very easy to screen now. You can even poop in a box. Please get screened. Please, please, please get screened. Please. Yeah. You guys are so funny. Okay. So this is the this is the video that Eric Worre put out a couple days after Jessie Lee passed. And you guys are so awesome for all the donating. Thank you. It's awesome. I don't really have a way to prepare you guys. If you have not watched this, I feel like please don't apologize if you can't afford. That's you being here and watching and commenting and interacting is going to help. I'm going to donate on my end too. So yeah. And if you feel comfortable sharing, that's awesome. And if you don't feel comfortable sharing, that's okay. Literally just watching this video is going to help. So please don't feel like the only way that you can contribute to this fundraiser is by donating. If you're not in a place that you can't do that, that's okay too. Just thank you for being here. It means a ton. So, and thank you guys for everybody that has donated. You guys are amazing. Okay. I don't know how to prepare you guys for this. It's like a 17-minute video. So let's watch it together. And yeah.
Friends and the network marketing family. It's been a few days and I haven't really been able to or ready to have a conversation about the amazing soul that we lost on Saturday. But
let me also tell you guys that the title of his video is In Memory of Jessie Lee Ward. So just remember that as we're watching this.
To be honest, I'm still not coping well with the entire situation. And the reasoning behind that, I guess.
The reasoning behind that is because she passed in my opinion, a shocking way from what she was sharing with her audience, from her followers. Her last video was, hey, I'm getting better. It's regressing. You know, my lymph nodes are going back to normal. And then all of a sudden, she's passed. And so the whiplash that, in my opinion, she has caused her audience is the thing that is, I mean, aside from the loss of a life, is heartbreaking to me, because these people, I feel like they were clotheslined. I feel like they're like, oh my God, this is awesome. She's getting better. And then all of a sudden she's not here anymore. And this is 2 days after her passing. He worked the entire weekend, it sounds like. So maybe he's having a hard time coping because he didn't stop. And this is a perfect example of the grind culture that exists within multi-level marketing coaches. And I think it's really sad. I hope that these people that I am seeing, you know, continuing to grind, you know, in her honor or whatnot, are seeking grief counseling. Honestly, I really do hope that they get help in navigating these feelings, because when you're in a multi-level marketing company, there's no stopping. You have to keep going. You have to keep showing up. And Eric even talks about, hey, leaders show up. So this entire weekend, when Jessie Lee passed away, he was working. And he'll tell you guys all of this here in just a second. But of course, you're having a hard time coping. You just lost somebody that it seems like you cared about. I think that could be in question, but we'll get there later. And pause and grieve, not grief, grieve. You know, it's the loss of a life, you know, in a tragic way.
is never really lost somebody that was not kind of expected to be lost.
The disconnect. She had stage 4 colon cancer with a median survival rate without treatment to be 9 months. And I think that this is the hard part for her following and for some people within the anti-MLM movement. What she was telling people, that she was getting better and that she was healing, and we all hoped that she was. I said it on every video, and I know other creators did, and I know a lot of you in the comments were like, I hope she gets better, but this is really scary. She was telling her following she was getting better. I don't understand how he feels this was unexpected. She was not doing chemotherapy and or radiation or whatever was suggested to her by the oncologists at MD Anderson. And there's science behind it. There's studies behind this. Sure, there's exceptions, maybe they live a little bit longer, that kind of thing, but in some cases. But I'm having a hard time with them not understanding that, or him saying that it was unexpected. Let me be clear on what I'm saying here. I'm having a hard time with that because all of us, I feel like, when I say all of us, I mean parts of the anti-MLM movement were like, please just do treatment. Or if you don't want to do it, just stop saying these things. Stop villainizing, oncologists and the medical profession, and just live your life if that's what you wanted to. So I don't understand the, it was unexpected.
Like a grandparent or a great grandparent or something like that. Nobody close in my family, really, and certainly not someone younger than one of my children. But Jessie Lee was a pretty special human being for a lot of reasons. And I wanted to talk with all of you today when I felt like I could kind of hold myself.
I can think of one person that I know that he has lost, and it was a former mentor of his. I don't remember his name, but I feel like I remember the video that he did. And if you are on his social media or whatnot, I'm sure you could scroll back far enough, because I remember he was in Hawaii or something, and he did this whole live or a short video or something where he was talking about the loss of whomever this person was, his mentor. I don't remember his name. That's going to drive me nuts now. I remember that. And not that loss is loss, it's a hard thing to process, and it goes against everything that I feel like we understand as humans. It's confusing. And maybe that what we're seeing here, just, I guess, giving him the benefit of the doubt here in this particular part, is maybe this is part of his grieving process. And if that's the case, okay, I get it,
Self together to do it. And tell you about the events of this last week and tell you about my...
Why do we need to know the events of the last week if this video is to honor Jessie Lee? Are you honoring the death of Jessie Lee, or are you honoring her life? Because this, to me, feels like it should be talked about with a grief counselor. It should be talked about behind the scenes with his closest friends. To me, this feels like, why are you going to give us a play-by-play of any of this? First of all, if anybody is going to give that kind of a play-by-play, I truly do feel like that should come from the family. And that's one thing that really has upset me, is watching all of these people share information about the death and just totally not even giving one thought about how the family might receive that. That's what it feels like to me, specifically around her death.
Tensions moving forward. And
Agreed, Beth.
thank all of you for your kindness. Jessie Lee's an example of the best of our profession. She's also the example of how much a person can contribute in even a brief time. In this case, far too short of time. But how many people were impacted as a result of her work, of her commitment, of her energy, of her heart. It's just enormous, and it's going to continue to go. It's going to continue to grow.
I really feel like this is a classic MLM thing. They always say, you know, this is a personal development. It's a personal development plan or a personal development program or something like that linked to a comp plan. So everything in MLM is measured with the rank that you make, the income that you're making, how many people you have on your team, how many events that you've been on or been to, you know, are you plugged in? Are you a product of the product? Those types of things. And to watch him switch to, you know, she touched a lot of lives, you know, and she made a huge impact. And I'm going to be very frank. How did she build those? How did she build the platform? Well, a lot of it was shock marketing. Why am I bringing up shock marketing? Because that was how she weaponized relationships. That was how she spread the misinformation, in my opinion. That is how all of this happened. She even weaponized the relationship with Aviram, which is why that has been talked about by creators, because she was using it as a way to bring in more people to watch her videos, to watch her content in hopes of selling them ketones, recruiting them, or signing them up for coaching. That's what it was about. So yeah, and several of those people that used to have private accounts now have public accounts, and watching them, not all of them, but watching Avi kind of soak up what feels like this attention, it makes me extremely uncomfortable. And the fact that Ed Milet is one of the people that was like, no, you need to double down. You need to, you know, do more, Boss Lee. You need to continue to work. And they're glorifying that. Like, she was working up until the last minute. Well, how do you know? Were you there? Because I don't think he was. I don't know, obviously, because I wasn't there, but I just find that interesting that somebody is in the active dying stage and they're still working. I find that really hard to believe. Let me just play the video. I have no idea what's going on with the dogs. I know that a lot of the followers have, or followers, not followers, the people that were the closest to her refused to answer questions about the dogs. I'm not sure why that is when they have an Instagram account. So I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but it feels odd to me because they were talked about online because Jessie Lee loved them so much. That's one thing that I definitely can say, is that she loved those dogs. So the fact that nobody really is sharing what's happening, I don't know. I don't know. It's odd to me.
I think you measure a life by three things. One, the number of experiences that you have.
Okay.
Two, the intensity of those experiences. And three, the number of lives that you touch, the number of people that you contribute to.
How very convenient that you use that to get people into your coaching, Eric. How very convenient that you're using that as an example.
And by that measure, Jessie Lee lived many, 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 many lifetimes in her brief season on this earth in a bodily form. Met her 7 or 8 years ago for the first
He
time.
ta-
Blue hair.
He talks about himself practically this entire video, but it's titled In Memory of Jessie Lee Ward.
Excited, but I never worked with someone
Cringe, yeah.
that was able to take input or feedback, coaching or guidance, and immediately implement it and improve on it like she did. Never, ever. It as a teacher, there's nothing more gratifying than seeing somebody that you were a little piece of their story, a little catalyst to help them take it and run and take it to its highest level. And that's what she did. It was amazing to watch. And I was proud of her from the first.
Hey, Sav. Yeah, I wanted a nice calm color behind me. Oh, and also had to match the hair. So thank you. Everybody say hi to my friend Sav. You know her. Subscribe to her if you haven't. What are you doing? You know? Hi, friend. The pastel pink hair is amazing. Thumbnail game on point. DC made the thumbnail. She made the background. She made the intro video. So that's all DC, and I'm so grateful.
First moment that I met her, we became very close friends, and watching her go through this journey starting in February was difficult.
Does anybody else find it odd that the way everybody found out that Jessie Lee Ward had stage 4 cancer was from him? Does anybody else find that odd? Does anybody else find it odd and uncomfortable that he was the one that really started to post about her? He didn't say she was in her end stages. He put up a very vague post that said #pray and then let the comments run wild. That was insane. That was how people found out how serious this was, and that she only had a few days to live. It was in the comment section. He just posted it and left it. I find that really uncomfortable. I find that to be not his place to share. I think that should have been Jessie Lee that shared that for cancer diagnosis. And I don't know, maybe she asked him to. Let me just give him the benefit of the doubt, or play devil's advocate, however you want to word that. Maybe she asked him to. I don't know. But I just find that really odd that we found out about the diagnosis. And when I say we, I mean the public. And then his vague posting on all of his social media platforms, while also pinning this video to the top of his Instagram after she passed. This was done 2 days after Jessie Lee passed away.
And challenging. And she was complaining about kidney stone pain. Some of you are confused about, I thought things were good. I thought she had kidney stones. Turns out it wasn't kidney stones that was causing the pain for the last.
Yeah, it was the cancer spreading from not being treated, unfortunately. That's, in my opinion, I'm not a medical person. I'm not a doctor. But from the research that I've done and the information that many of you have shared with me, both in comments on videos and privately, that's a telltale sign that cancer is spreading, along with the ascites, the fluid in her abdomen that she talked about in many of her videos.
6 weeks. It was, a pretty awful disease. And I got a message in midweek that says, I'm working on some things. I got to deal with some stuff. It's kind of annoying.
Was that when she was in the hospital? I got to do some things. That seems very vague of you, Eric. Very similar to all of your social media posts asking for prayers for her and then letting people run wild in the comments. It just, I don't know. That seems really out of place that he's mentioning that. What else did they talk about? It's like, are there more details that he didn't want to talk about, and that's why he's bringing it up this way? I don't know, but I don't.
And then I got another message from Jessie Lee on Thursday. Doctors saying I don't have much time. I was doing a Zoom call on Thursday, and I had a house full of people. Lisa Nichols was doing an event here.
I think this is a valid question. Do you think she really messaged him? And I would say, yeah, I think she did message him. That's just my theory. Obviously, I don't know that to be true. It's just my opinion. But I think that he would be one of the people that she messaged. Yeah.
Doing a Zoom call on Thursday and got a phone call from a dear friend who said, I think you need to get here.
Was that friend Lisa Grossman? Because Courtney sure did have a lot to say about certain people showing up at the hospital. Also, his stories, I don't know if you guys saw this, when he's going to talk about this here in a few, when he talks about on Friday getting on a plane. It was on his private jet, and he had his Eric Worre merch, hat, jacket, the whole nine, and showed up to the hospital like that to see Jessie Lee. Was giving information about it in his Instagram stories with complete, what felt like to me, let me be clear on how I'm saying this, complete disregard to Jessie Lee's family, just sharing information. And it's like they're all jockeying to be the person that was the closest. It's really, really weird to me.
And broke down for the first time of many. Had to stop the Zoom call. And
thank you for this.
Even though we had a full house, Lisa Nichols was great. Marina and I got on an airplane on Friday morning, and we flew to Texas
on his private plane.
And to say it was hard is a complete understatement. You know, when we talked on Friday, there was not an ounce of quit. She's like, I've got to get strong enough so I can get out here and continue treatment. I've got stuff I got to do.
I have some things to say about that, but apparently Luna wants to say hello. Would you like to say hello to Luna, you guys? Come here, mamas. Are you just saying hi? Okay. Let me rewind that for just a second. Oh, no, I remember what I was going to say. Sorry. Luna totally distracted me. She will come back, though. So you mean to tell me, Eric, that Jessie Lee on Thursday was told she didn't have much time, and according to the comments on Eric's Facebook post that many of you sent me, saying that she only had a few days to live. A few typically means 2 or so. This was told to her allegedly on Thursday. And so you fly in on Friday, and she's, after being told she only has a few days to live, or however that was delivered to her by the medical professionals, she's still talking about working. She's still talking about, hey, I gotta, get stronger and get out of here. I've got things to do. Somebody that has stage 4 cancer that apparently was in ICU. Somebody that has had ascites for weeks and intense pain was talking about working. If that's the case, that's heartbreaking. And I don't think any of us would know how we would be if that were us, and we were facing that kind of diagnosis, and we were facing, only having a couple days to live and figuring out, what to do and who you want to contact and how you want to contact them. And I don't think any of us truly know what that would be like unless we were faced with that situation. I hope that was not the case. I hope that she spent her last moments just being with the people closest to her, and that's what I hope. This part was really hard for me because it's like she's just been told that she only has a few days to live, and it's like, but she's going to talk about getting out of the hospital and getting stronger. I just have a hard time believing that. And maybe she was in denial. I don't know, but I have a hard time believing that that actually was the case, but it makes a good story. It's a great example of storytelling, I feel like, for him,
But I knew I was saying goodbye, and Marina did too.
It's sad. Also, the fact that people are or have been or were, however you want to word that, were sharing their last text messages with her. I feel like that should have been kept private. The sharing of her postmortem hand on posts and stuff on a post is. I just feel like those should have been kept private, especially the one where I don't remember who she was messaging. I think it was somebody from her mastermind or something. And she was talking about how terrified she was. People don't need to see that publicly. That's heartbreaking. That's really sad. And to share that publicly, why? Why would you need to post that? Why would you need to share that?
I told her that regardless of how much time that she or any of us have on this earth, you really measure it by the contribution and the lives you're able to contribute to in some way. And that regardless of treatment, regardless of results, and regardless of how much time was left, that she was going to live for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years because she poured into people like you. Some of you met her and knew her, some of you didn't, but you still were impacted. Like Jim Rohn poured into me, I was able to, in some small way, be connected with her, and she was able to pour into you, that she was going to live for a long time.
He always has to mention himself.
And that the world was praying, the world was thinking about her, and that was...
I don't know that I would say the world. I think she had a lot of people praying for her. I think she had a lot of people wanting her to beat this. The anti-MLM movement is included in that. Maybe not all of us. I know everybody has a barrage of feelings and emotions around this. All of that is valid, of course. She had a lot of people that wanted her to beat this. Absolutely, I agree with that.
Was a result of the value that she brought to that world. Makes me think about how much time all of us have and what we should be doing with it. And should we be casual? Or should we be determined?
This is where this all changes. This is where it becomes how are you going to contribute? How are you going to stop playing small? How are you going to show up? How are you going to work? Whose lives are you going to impact? This isn't about honoring Jessie Lee's life. This is about, hey, she impacted a lot of people. You're playing small, so let's go. Oh, by the way, I can be the coach that you can hire to help you. That's what this feels like to me. This part is really infuriating to me because he's using it to emotionally manipulate his audience that probably were aware of Jessie Lee and her content, maybe have met her at events, maybe watched her lives and stuff. And he's using it to manipulate them to work harder in an industry that 99.7% of people lose money or don't make any at all. He's using the emotionally charged event of Jessie Lee passing away to get people to do more work. And some of their team members and people that were close to Jessie Lee are using the hashtag WWJWD. JLWD. What would Jessie Lee Ward do? And it's shocking to me. It's shocking. This is not about, in my opinion, this is not about honoring Jessie Lee. This is about him trying to find his next star pupil. Because if you think about this, Jessie Lee brought him a lot of money. She made him a lot of money. Over the years, the amount of people that Jessie Lee encouraged to go to his events, the amount of people she brought to him to join the mastermind, the events that she had for the empire at his house, she made him a lot of money. And now she's no longer here. So who's going to step up? That's what this feels like to me. And it's absolutely grimy.
Determined to leave a bigger footprint. If your time comes out of the blue, what's going to be the legacy? How's it going to be measured? It won't be in dollars, but it'll be in people and lives.
It won't be in dollars because the majority of people don't make money or lose money in multi-level marketing. So I guess you are saying the quiet part out loud. Unbelievable.
Touched.
And the
So we
language.
flew back Friday night.
Oh, back to the story.
Worried.
Of course, yeah. Of course she'd be worried.
And I had some filming to do at our studio, and I had a convention I was.
Look at me continuing to work, even though I was so worried about my friend that only had a couple days to live and was telling me that, you know, hey, I have work to do and I just need to get stronger so I can get out of here and continue treatments. But look at me continuing to work. Look at me, you know, recording a couple of videos and getting on some Zooms. And oh, I had a speaking engagement that weekend too. Just wait, that's coming too.
Speaking at yesterday, on Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Las Vegas, like 3,000 people, 3,000 people.
Good for you, Eric. Good for you. Yeah, that detail of, 3,000 people, Saturday afternoon after Jessie Lee passed away. Oh, God, it's disgusting, and it makes me so freaking mad. It makes me so mad.
That had been booked a long time ago, and I had 40 people in my house with this Lisa Nichols event. So I went and filmed what I needed to film Friday morning.
Oh, yeah. And he had a Lisa Nichols event at his house. Imagine having your house built and using it to rent out for events. The place that you live, the place that you share meals with your closest people, the place where you lay your head at night. Imagine being like, you know what? This is a good investment. I'm going to rent my house out. Yeah. And people can hold their events here in my house. Oh my God.
And as I'm getting out, and I got basically a half an hour before I'm going to go speak at this conference, Marina pulls up. I'm like, what are you doing here? You should be with Lisa Nichols. She said, I'm going to go with you. I said, okay, we can drive separate. She said, no, let's drive together. So we get in the car, and I see the look on her face, and I'm like, no. Wow. So I'm like, I kind of didn't know what to do. For a moment, I'm like, I have to cancel. I can't speak to this group. I'm not going to be able to hold it together.
And I bet everybody would have understood. I bet they would have come up with a plan B and said, we get it. This is horrible. This person lost their life. It's terrible. We understand. But no. He spoke at the event. Yeah, this gets real bad, so buckle up.
And that lasted about 10 seconds, and I'll tell you why. What went through my mind is if Jessie Lee was sitting in the car with me, which I believe she was, she would say, get your ass down there.
Oh my.
There's another me in that room. There's somebody that can find another me. You have a calling. You have a mission. You have a purpose. Do your purpose. You want to honor me? Go do your purpose.
That's disgusting. You can't even stop for 1 second and just grieve the loss of somebody that was supposed to be super close to you. And instead, you're going to go to an event with the intention of finding the next Jessie Lee. The thing that really bothers me about this too, I mean, other than all of it, is the fact that in one of his posts after her passing, he said she was 1 in a million, but here he is on this video talking about how I'm going to find, essentially, he didn't say it in those words, Jessie Lee encouraging him to find the next her. And that is so weird to me. If she was 1 in a million, just honor her being 1 in a million. You don't have to say, oh, okay, let me find the next one. Let me find the next Jessie Lee in the audience or somebody that can point me in that direction. If she were 1 in a million, you wouldn't be using language like that. This is why I think, in my opinion, that because of the amount of money that Jessie Lee made him, whether it's selling event tickets, whether it was bringing people to his mastermind, whatever, I think this is a big hit to his pocketbook. I think this is a big hit to his finances. And I think that's why he did the event. I think that's why he did this video. I think that's why he's posted certain things since then, is because this hurt him financially. And the thought of her being used in that way after her passing is disgusting to me.
There'll be time for mourning and reflection and sadness and loss and grief.
Also this.
Now's not the time. So I got to tell you, it was one of the hardest things I've done in a long time, was to go train for 3 hours and pour myself, a little piece of myself, into that room.
Ew.
But I did. And afterwards, I came back to a house filled with people.
He did say that.
And I had to take some time.
And nobody would have thought twice if he said, I'm going to take some time away from social media. I need a minute. I need to process whatever. I need to grieve, and whatever for him. I don't think anybody would have batted an eyelash. I think they would have been like, understandably so. So this hustle culture after her death and using Jessie Lee as a way to drive that, I think is so disgusting. This is sad. It's sad what happened. I don't like what happened while she was living. I don't like the manipulation. I don't like the weaponizing, like I've already said multiple times on this video. But it's sad that people lost her. It's sad that this life ended in the way that it did. It's sad. So grieve that. That's a normal part of the human experience, is going through all of the emotions and the stages of grieving.
In that moment, condolences, it's a very weird thing.
I bet.
I was not happy to receive them. I didn't want to hear it, honestly.
That's fair.
So took some time, but eventually came back out and said hello and gave some people some hugs.
The energy of, so I took some time, but eventually I came back out, put the face on, he used to always say, and I don't know if he still says it, but he says shaking hands and kissing babies, like a politician. I can only imagine what he was like when he came out of his bedroom and started shaking hands and saying hello and taking pictures.
And went into Sunday. We put together a tribute video, which we sent out. I hope you've seen. And I started talking with the team. It's like, first, we need to find every single talk Jessie Lee's ever made, ever done on any stage and any mastermind and any challenge and anything. And we need to find them, and we need to put all of them on YouTube. We need to create an entire library and open up to the world, because her legacy has to continue.
Why is that your place to do that? If it's a part of her legacy, you would think that that would come from her family. You want to put it on your YouTube channel, or collect all of it and put it on her YouTube channel so people have access to it. I mean, you're going to put it on your YouTube channel? Are you going to monetize it too, Eric? Like, what are you talking about? This is not your place. And this is the overstepping that I feel like I've seen from him, from Ed Milet, from, people in Prove It. Oh, by the way, allegedly, this is going to piss y'all off because it still pisses me off. Allegedly, I'm not stating this as a fact. They are in talks with putting out, Prove It is, with putting out a Jessie Lee edition of ketones. Now, my question is, Brian Underwood, in case you happen to come across this, are you going to donate the proceeds to the estate, the family, a cancer research organization, or are you going to pocket that if you do that? Oh, and you better believe I will cover that if that happens. That's vile. Brian, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's disgusting. I can't.
As an example of what's possible with her upbringing, her situation, everything else, everything was stacked against her, and she said no.
An example of what's possible. Yeah. So there it is. There it is. We have to start. This is how I feel like. This is what I feel like he's saying. We have to keep talking about her because it tells us, it shows us what's possible. When the cards are all stacked against somebody, look at Jessie Lee. This is possible. So if she can do it, you can do it.
I'm going to go big.
Oh, God.
And today, I had a couple Zooms. I canceled quite a bit, but I had a couple Zooms that were scheduled, and decided to man up and, all right, I'm going to do those. What I decided is I'm going to take the time that I have, and I hope it's a long time, and I'm going to invest it into people.
Oh, so does that mean that you're going to do more free content? Does that mean that you're going to lower prices on events? Does that mean what does that mean? You're going to invest in people? Are you just looking for more coaching clients? Are you looking for more mastermind members? What does that mean, Eric? Are you going to look for more six-figure earners and schedule Zooms? Because I know he's done that since then. He's looking for the next star pupil. That's what he's looking for. But he's presenting it, in my opinion, like, I'm going to find, somebody that I can help move forward faster. This is disgusting. This has nothing to do with honoring Jessie Lee's life or her as a human being. And it has everything to do, in my opinion, with you continuing to profit off of her. She's passed away. So the only way that you can profit off of her now is to find the next star pupil. And for that, this is vile.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest it into people. I had a group of top leaders that were scheduled to come to my house last night that were from the event on Saturday.
Did they pay to be there? Did you make income off them coming to your house to be there? Or was this an investment that you donated your time here? I have questions.
And I posted a picture because I invested
Also
into them
this.
last night.
Oof.
I posted that picture and some people were like, "Whoa, wow. Business as usual, huh?"
Yep. That's what this entire live has been from him. That's exactly what we've seen.
No time to even contemplate the meaning of Jessie Lee's passing. No time to mourn it.
Right.
I'm celebrating her life.
Oh. You just happen to be celebrating in ways that you financially benefit, though, right? Yeah.
By pouring into other people. That's what I'm doing. You can do it whatever way you want to do it. But my decision is to double down. My
Shocking.
decision is to give more. My decision is to up my game.
To give
One of the things
more?
I love best about network marketing is it creates an environment that helps people become better. We measure things by rank advancement and volume and dollars, but nobody talked over the last 2 days about, look how much money she made. They talked about how many lives did she touch. So if you're going to be
This is very much like I was saying earlier in this live stream, the personal development with a comp plan attached. Very much MLM language here, in my opinion.
offended by me pouring myself into other people and finding the next person ready to go out and impact the world and see if I can't help them grow a little faster, do a little better, improve, then you need to not be in my orbit, because that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, the smug smile. Oh my God.
I would encourage all of you to use this example and her example to play big. Don't play small. We'll find a way to celebrate her life together as a community. I'm working on that now. Not in any way to do anything other than thank her and show her example of what a person can do when they decide to reach for the best in themselves.
What?
Regardless of circumstance. They decide to love people without limits. They
Oh my God.
decide to be loud and 100% themselves without slowing down in the face of criticism. And she received her fair share of criticism.
Because she was manipulating people and she was spreading medical misinformation. If I remember correctly, one of the first videos that featured Jessie Lee was on Savannah Marie's channel. And I know Chelsea, Cece Suarez, also featured her. But Jessie Lee commented on one of Savannah's video that she was featured in when she had the yellow, Jessie Lee had the yellow hair, I think. And she was like, hey, wait, that's me. You don't have to blur my face. And that's what cracked all of this open. So she was spreading misinformation. She was fear-mongering around people receiving medical care. She was straight up saying horrible things, none of which I'm going to repeat here. You guys remember, please don't say it in the comments. This is disgusting. She was being criticized because what she was doing was wrong. She was trying to use shock marketing to recruit people either into Prove It or into her coaching program. It was wrong.
She gave anyway. She loved anyway. She contributed anyway, up to the last minute. You can too.
The last minute?
And I'm going to as well.
Oh my God.
So here's the question. What are you going to do in the time you have left?
Oh.
And how are we going to measure your life?
Oh, but this is about honoring Jessie Lee, right? That's what this video is about, Eric. Now you're going to give a call to action so people go back to work, just like you did when you found out she had passed and you did the speaking engagement, came back to a house full of guests, and then had the event, for that small group of leaders. This is disgusting. I know I keep saying that, but like, I don't know what other adjective to use, honestly. Vile.
When your time on this earth is done, how many people are going to say, this person, you, changed their life, made it better, improved it, caused them to play at a higher level, and move the contribution forward?
Ugh.
I will tell you, I love all of you, and I'm proud of the fact that together.
Eric, I bet you don't love all of us. I bet you don't. I can't wait for the day when I run into him here in Vegas.
We're an extended family.
Oh, no, we're
That we
not.
care about each other, that we embrace each other, that we accept each other's weaknesses and faults. We try to get better every day.
Try to get better every day, but you're a coach for people that are in multi-level marketing. And the majority of people lose money or don't make any. You're literally preying on a demographic of people that are so desperate to try and make money that they're paying you however much. And they're in an industry where the majority of people lose money. And you're proud of that.
But I will also tell you, all of us have a higher calling. We only have so much time. Let's see what we can do with it. Okay?
Mm.
So to my dear friend, Jessie Lee, thank you. Thank you. On behalf of everybody that was ever close to your orbit, we're grateful for you and we love you. Talk soon, my friends. Let's do big things.
Oh, gross. What? Let's do big things. Nothing like a call to action at the end of a tribute video. What the hell? I can't even. Are you guys okay? Check in. Let me know you're good. Because that was gross. Like, I have that feeling in my throat. You know what I mean? Like when something is just, ugh. See, now you guys know, like, I didn't know how to prepare you for that, but disgusting. Absolutely vile. I'm glad you guys are okay. Yeah, this a perfect example of transactional relationships. I agree, T. I agree. Oh, here's Luna, a perfect palate cleanser. Come here. Come here, mamas. Why does she run from me? She knows she wants me to pick her up. Come here. Come here. Why is she running from me? Come here, mama. My friends want to say hi. Sorry, I bumped my mic. Oh, here she comes. Here she is. Hello, big girl. Hi. Gotta get the toe beans in. Oh, Luna, you're the perfect palate cleanser. Thank you, my friend. She's so pretty. Gotta get the toe beans in. That was a wild ride, you guys. Yeah, the eternal struggle of every pet owner. That's so true. Oh. Yeah, hug your floofs. Hug your kiddos or whoever's closest to you. Make them hug you if they're older like mine are. Just kidding. Don't make them hug you. Respect the boundaries. That was rough, but I'm glad that we talked about everything that we talked about. Oh my gosh. We need shadow cutouts for your lights for Halloween. What? Shadow cutouts? Like cattails and bats and cats and witch hats? Does that rhyme? Oh my god. That's a great idea. Wow. Okay, so quick update. I know I didn't do any sound effects and stuff like that. I just didn't feel like this was the time or the place for that. I wanted to have like a serious conversation with everybody and uh, share as compassionately as I could. So I hope that's what came across, you know. Erin, you're showing more respect for her life than many of the people closest to her, and I applaud you. Thank you. I don't want this to be Thank you for that. I don't want this to be about me. I really In all of this, I'm just continuing to think of her family and what they're having to deal with, and, you know, I'm sad. I'm sad about that for them especially. So, if you guys happen to be watching it and you're a family member, just know that I'm sending you all love in a non-culty way. Also, can we talk about this fundraiser? Because we have raised $900 in this hour and 12 minutes that we've been here. And I am so grateful. For those of you that clicked the donate button, that goes directly to the organization. Thank you guys. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. Just you watching this video, and whether you chose to comment or not, just you watching the video is going to help, because I'm going to be donating the AdSense from this video to the organization. And I'm going to leave this running until, when I say running, I mean like monetized, until the end of the month. And then I'll update everybody at the end of the month um, as far as um, as far as how much I'm donating and all of that, with the screenshots and the documentation, because I think that's important. So even if you weren't able to donate, just you watching is going to help contribute. So please don't feel pressured. Like, you know, I don't want people to feel pressured to donate if they're not in a space where they can do that. So just you being here is actually helping as well. So um, I could end it on her birthday. That's a great idea. Her birthday was. Oh, that's weird. November 1st. So now we're at 1,000. Y'all are wild. There's no end date. There was no goal that I set up as far as fundraising. So this is going to keep going. And I do want to talk about the Colon Cancer Coalition real quick. I meant to do this at the beginning, but if you have not visited their website, let me get the website. Not the right one. There it is. Their website is, and I'll put this in the video description as well, coloncancercoalition.org. And there are 2 events that are coming up in their area. They do, there's options for getting screened. There's options for just flat out education. There's ways that you can learn the symptoms. There are ways that you can fundraise and you can volunteer. There's all kinds of material and information on their website. And again, the website is coloncancercoalition.org. And anybody that clicked on the button tonight and donated any dollar amount, it's going directly to them. So the fact that we've raised $1,000 for them is incredible. And it's not going to replace a life, but my hopes is that, just like I said today when I was speaking at the college class, you know, my goal today with this and with the speaking in the class is to, well, the class is a little different, to prevent somebody from joining a multi-level marketing company, and giving them the tools to be able to identify it, whether it's in person, you know, being pitched from a family member or a friend or a coworker or an acquaintance, and 2, to be able to identify it on social media. And my goal here is to, how do I want to word this? I'm thinking. Hold, please. I'm gonna take a minute. This is what I wish Jessie Lee would have done. I wish she would have used it to educate. I wish she would have used it to raise awareness. I wish she would have used in whatever way she could to not line her pockets and just educate people and connect people to resources. And while I can't right what I feel like are her wrongs in the scenario with the misinformation and all that I've mentioned multiple times, I just hope through the information and the videos that I have done reacting to the misinformation and the weaponized relationships, that it prevents one person in her following, or one person, from listening to her advice. Just one person. That's my goal. So yeah. The speaking engagement went well. Hang on. Okay, so this is only for the US. I apologize, you guys. Elaine says if you're in the UK and the link won't work, she recommends the Cancer Research UK. I will have to see if I can, maybe I can get a hold of Linda and get a contact at the organization where I can see about opening up donations, outside of the US. So I'll do what I can on my end for that. But yeah, today's been a good day. This was her quiet class. So I'm doing this today, and I'm also doing it in another class on Wednesday. And this was the class that she was worried about because they're kind of quiet. And I spent probably half of the time. I think I spoke for like 50 minutes or something like that. I spent probably probably close to half of that time just answering questions, and difficult questions. If you were so successful, why did you get out? Which is the basis of my very first video that I did. How did you feel? They when you were getting out and knowing that your team was not making any money, they asked really great and difficult questions. And I'm really grateful for that opportunity, and I'm going to do it again on Wednesday. And so this class today was not quiet, and it was, I don't know, it was a cool experience. It's the first time that I did any kind of speaking since getting out of MLM, and I was so happy to do it. And I can't wait to do it again on Wednesday. So thank you guys so much for those that contributed. Watching is contributing. Watching and commenting is contributing. And any of the algorithm boosting things, liking the video, commenting, subscribing, sharing if you're comfortable. You can click on the link to share the video and put it in your stories. All of that is really, really helpful because the focus is to raise money for this organization. I do need to tell you guys about the dates on the event. I think it's October 8th, but let me just verify, because I do want to talk about, they have two events, which is actually the name. When you contribute on the donate button, it says get your rear in gear and tour to tush. And those are the names of the events. And the Get Your Rear in Gear is in the Denver metro area on October 7th. And it's at Robert F. Clement Park in Littleton, Colorado. And then on the same date in Michigan, they have the Get Your Rear in Gear in Grand Rapids. So again, that's on October 7th, and it's at the Millennium Park Grant Pavilion in Walker, Michigan. So I will put the link in case you want to share the link to this really cool organization anywhere you want to share it, family, friends, social media, whatever. And yeah. I'm not sure if you're referring to the videos that Eric was referring to. That's a great question. If it's monetized, Eric would be the one making the money off of those videos. So, thank you so much from Finland. That's so cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. My dad said he donated. He's a colon cancer survivor. And Rebecca is actually the one that said to do a fundraiser. So tell your dad thank you. We're glad he's here. And Rebecca, thank you for the suggestion. Thank you to Linda, who connected me to this organization. And thank you to DC for helping with the background and the thumbnail and the intro, or the countdown, something like that. Yeah. If he uploads all of those videos and chooses to monetize them, I should have said that better. My apologies. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to head out. I am planning another live stream on covering the Ed Milet video. I may need to move it to later on this week. This week is nuts. And that's also a longer video. I think that's like 48 minutes or something. I need to look. So I want to have a longer time period to react to it. It's just as vile. Actually, I think it's kind of worse, honestly, but I don't know. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thumbs up the stream, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for being here. Bye, everybody.